here we are at KLCC after a 10-15 minute journey on the LRT, which cost about 50 pence. We arrive at KLCC straight out onto one of the main roads, as you can probably tell. Straight out onto one of the main roads, Jalan Ampang, right across the road from, as hopefully you can see over my shoulder there, the famous Petronas Twin Towers. We're going to head over that way and get into KLCC Park, where there is a lovely view of it, I hope. Okay, so here is KLCC Park. As you can probably tell, all around this is Instagram City. Let me flip you around and show you why. Okay, so I'm standing right in front of Surya Mall, which is the bottom 8 floors or so of the Petronas Towers. So I'm going to head over to the other side of this lake and see if I can get a decent shot from over there. Okay, so having walked around the park a little bit, I'm thinking this bridge here might be the place to get the direct central shot of the Twin Towers. Judging by all the tourists and Instagrammers, I think I might be right. Let's see, if I point this at the towers and bring that up a bit. I don't know whether you can see, but not quite central. The supports for the bridge is what lets me know whether we're central or not. So I found the central location, but it's on the bridge, not quite central. And then when I do find the central, it's just a load of trees in the way at the bottom. So I'm hoping if I go down, let me show you. If I go back down towards the fountain, may be able to get a wide shot, which includes the fountains and both towers. Let's go see. Well, perfectly central. Let's see if we can squeeze them all in. Okay, so I've tried pretty much everything I can think of here. We've had a wide angle shot, several straight shots to stitch into a panel. I've even tried my iPhone panel. So let's hope if any of them come out. Here we go. Well, they do seem to like their bridges crossing between towers at high levels here in KL. There's another, looks like still under construction, with at least 1, 2, 3 bridges being built I can see. At least 20th floor, 40th floor, something like that. Obviously you have the famous bridge across the Petronas Twin Tower. Up there, and there's another one I can see from here, not quite the size of Petronas ones, just above the right hand wing of the mall there on that building. Hope you can make it out, but there's a glass walkway between 2 towers up there. They really do like their high level crossover bridges. So, after walking around the park for about an hour, I think I need to go inside, find a cool drink and some aircon. So we've come to KL Central Station, and it's rather busy around here at the moment. The place is full of cheap backpacker type hotels, but there's actually a really good view of the spike from here. So this morning I've come down to Lake Gardens in Kuala Lumpur. It's an enormous park, and it's where they also have the bird park, which I've been to before, and the butterfly gardens, which I've also been to before. But they also have the botanic gardens here and several lakes. So I'm going to wander around now and see if we can find some nice scenery to take some photos of. So I'm following the signs for the first bit I've come to. It says it's Sunken Garden, so we're heading down the steps now. Let's go and see what's in a sunken garden. Well, it looks like there's a river down at the bottom here. Quite a nice bridge there, but I don't think you can see it from this angle very well. There's all these trees quite overgrown. Let's go around and see if we can get a better view of it. And we've just done a small circle and we're on our way back out again. Trying to get down to that bridge. Now before we head down that way, let's just have a look at this very manicured garden here. The spike standing well above it all. What do you think? Worth a shot? Symmetrical? Certainly colourful. Not sure that it actually makes a nice photo. I'll take one anyway and see how it goes. Okay, so here's the scene I'm looking at. Now I've got two issues with this. First one is I'm having to exposure blend because the sky is so bright, and I want to get these vibrant colours in the bottom. And the second problem is you get people walking through this all the time. So I've changed position, I've moved around to the side, gone around 90 degrees in this formal garden, and it has the advantage of me being in the shade, which is a little bit cooler, and it means that everything on the garden is actually in sunlight. We don't have that shade on one side, light on the other. So I'm going to do the same thing again here. As you can probably tell, there are a couple of girls down there taking some probably Instagram shots or something. I think I'm going to have to give up and move on. These people have been down there for a good 15 minutes taking shot after shot after shot on their mobile phones against these lovely orange flowers, and now they're moving to take photos against the fountain, so I'm not going to stand here any longer. Well, no matter how much I try, I don't seem to be able to get a decent view of that bridge with all these trees round about. I've even tried over the other side. There's just not a decent shot. Well, like pretty much everything here, it looks interesting, but then there's either too many people or too many other things close by interfering with the view. In this case, there's a bridge beyond that fountain which I can't see because of either the fountain or the bushes beside it. A bit wet underfoot here leading up to this waterfall, which is obviously man-made, but quite expansive, and is obviously another favourite Instagram shot. Well, I hope you can hear me over the water. I'm thinking about maybe just concentrating on this central portion, but again, everybody else seems to be taking their Instagram shots in the same place. So once people move off, I'll see if I can find a nice section to use as the, maybe this section here. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 levels. That one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, the central section is definitely the best. It has more levels for the shot. So I'm definitely thinking this central portion here. Yeah, definitely think this one. So after experimenting with various apertures and shutter speeds, I eventually managed to get quite a nice wide shot at about 14, 15, 16 mil with a 1/6 of a second shutter speed. Couldn't go any slower without filters, which I think I've got in the bag somewhere, but it's so hot. I need to go and get a cool drink now. Anyway, if the shot turned out any good, dodging all the passers-by walking through, here it is. So we're just wandering through the lake gardens, found a bridge, found a couple of nice looking trees, and I've come down to another one of these white bridges. Just spotted a little zebra dove just sitting on the and flying away. Okay, so it's a little more shaded here, and it's another one of these white bridges. Hopefully it's a little bit more peaceful scene than the other one. Although we have the children's play area just the other side, which is very obviously man-made in the bamboo area. They have a bamboo collection that we've just walked through. See, once again, all these ornamental bushes, which are very pretty, cover up the bridge so we can't get a shot. So a couple of things I discovered quite early on my travels around Singapore and Malaysia is two things that you absolutely must have with you at all times. The first one is a little towel of some kind. Oh. And the other, equally vital, in some ways more vital, make sure you bring plenty of water, and ideally one of these. This is 100 plus which carries all the salts and electrolytes that your body sweats out, so it's worth having a drink of this to replace it. I don't even know if you can get 100 plus in UK. I don't think I've seen it, but out here this is a lifesaver. So just having a little bit of a sit down and rest for a little while. Not sure where to head next. I've just seen the signpost up here, and on this signpost we have something that's called Laman Perdana and Kanopi. So I might head that way for a little while. An edible garden sounds quite good, and then I'm going to head down towards the museum and see if I can figure out my way home from there. So I found the canopy thing they were talking about, and it is not what I expected. I don't know what I was expecting, something more to do with trees I think. Instead they've got this great big metal and glass canopy over a whole section of the middle, with people playing badminton and cycling, all under a big glass cover. Streplos asper, which is actually a rather interesting looking plant. I have no idea whether they have to shape these and cultivate these into these shapes, or whether they grow that way naturally, but there's actually quite a few of them right next to each other. I like the interesting shape of this one, but the background kind of doesn't work for me. So many fish, unbelievable numbers of fish. But I remember coming to feed fish when I was a kid, and it's nice watching these kids here feeding the fish, even though there's a sign up saying please do not feed the fish. And wow, the way the fish react as soon as the bread goes into the water. Now this area is a little more wild looking. There's a little fairly natural stream looking, feeding into a pond, which I'm sure is supposed to be a lotus pond, but actually just looks more like a mosquito breeding centre. So we've come to the end of the park, pretty much just about the end of the lake, and from there I have a very busy road to try and negotiate till I come to KL Central, where I can have some lunch and hopefully grab a taxi back to Ben and Sheepan's house where we're staying. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little stroll through Lake Gardens. Nothing terribly exciting, certainly no portfolio shots. So tomorrow we head back to Singapore, so this will probably be my last video from Malaysia, in which case, whichever way I end up editing these places in chronology, this is probably the end of this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.